shit, man. But
F. Low. That looks like an E. Sorry. Here, let me show you that. Peak formation low. Sunday going into Monday. There's your gap. Readjust your consolidation for the breakout guys. Readjust your market maker spread. There's your initial HOD. Initial low.
Hello.
hey, what's going on, fam? Just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's going on, champ?
What's cool? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Were you able to grab any positions this morning?
No, I just been watching, trying to learn a little bit. But I didn't grab none yet. But I am.
Okay, good deal. No worries. No worries. No worries. Now, do you have it? Okay, I was going to say, do you have an account? Okay, good deal. So, how long have you been trading? Are you pretty new, or have you been trading for a while?
I'm pretty new.
Okay. Okay, well, start by telling me what you know so far. Yeah, go ahead. What you know so far. Just about Forex in general. It doesn't have to be about reading the charts or that.
Well, pretty much, I know. I really don't know too much. All right, so I'm recently just started paying attention to it about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
I mean, I've been kind of on and off with it for like 2 months, but a month ago, I definitely realized I need to start trying to learn how to do it. So I started watching like different videos on like different indicators, like the ATR, the ADX, moving averages and stuff like that. Okay. So I know a little bit about like how the moving averages play a role when like if the price is over the moving average, it's in the uptrend. If it's under the 50-day moving average, it's in the downtrend, things like that. I I'm watching. I just learned this Beat the Market Maker video where he's teaching me about the different levels. So I kind of I'm in to the end of it where he's showing like the level. So I think I mean this I haven't yet. I'm just watching from what I'm seeing. Based on what he's showing me, it's like if once the price either make a high or low, and then have a consolidation, that's a level. So,
correct.
So I'm right.
Yeah, you're right there.
Okay, so with me knowing that now, I can probably read charts and then try to figure out like which level it's in, like if it's in 1, 2, or 3. But with that, I know that they make their most aggressive moves in level 3. So maybe because last night I was watching gold for a while because I was I was actually in that play that you had put, the one for buy, right?
Okay.
And I was watching it thinking it was gonna go, but I didn't see that you had put it's gonna swing back to sell. But I was watching it and someone was telling me like, damn, this finna go back to a sale. But he said buy. So I really kind of convinced myself that it's gonna go buy. But I was watching it, they made an aggressive move, 3 aggressive moves down, 3 vector candles down or down. So I was like,
and then it took off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So they kind of just showed you that what they gonna do, but then like you said, they took off to make it seem like it's gonna go up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that I mean, I know I'm learning a little bit because I'm, but you know.
Are you familiar with the market sessions and how they work?
A little bit. So I know that not too much. So I know that the US session open at 9:30. And then I know at 2, I was assuming around 2:00 US session kind of show they move or whatever they gonna do. But I know the London session open at 3 in the morning, and I know the Asian session start around 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 1 of the 2. So, and I don't really know like too much of the significance of each one of them. I do know they say that the US kind of make their moves in reversals, the US reversal. But I also do know that they say the London session make the strongest moves. So
good deal. Well, I just put in the chat one of my intro courses. So you'll see that in the chat right here of the Zoom. Once we finish,
for some reason, it sounds like your voice is 2 people. It's like you got two people in the chat.
Yeah, let me hit this. All right, how about now?
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay, good deal. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, so what I was saying about the course I just put in the chat is an intro course that once we're done here, go and take your time to go through that.
Okay.
That pretty much explains everything in a nutshell, to be honest. Everything from the sessions to the pip counts to somewhat some of Steve Morrow's market maker concept. But overall, it'll give you the foundation that you need to really get in there and actually start maneuvering confidently through the market. And what I pretty much use in my strategy is simply I do a top-down analysis from reading my price charts from all the way from the monthly. So looking here at the monthly, for example, first thing I do when I open my charts is I just open my charts and look at a naked chart, such as this right here. I start from the monthly, and I really just look for peaks in a trend. Do you know how to define a trend?
No.
Okay, a trend is simply defined by, for example, for an uptrend, you need higher highs and higher lows. So identifying this uptrend was the starting point right here, the lowest point. Of course, at high, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But then you see right here, this low is now lower than this low. That completes this particular trend. Now, looking at the next trend that we got is actually a sideways trend. Notice how these highs and these lows seem to all be in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
That would be considered solid consolidation. So looking at this, obviously we're seeing a swing, consolidation, getting ready for another swing. So what we're seeing is a level one that was created. This is the monthly time frame. So of course, this is a huge swing. This swing happened from 2007 all the way up until 2013. Then we've been consolidating here for the past 5 years, as you can see right here. I start on the monthly because it gives me the overall directional bias. So looking here at the monthly and just looking at this swing to the consolidation, it's telling me that the next move on this monthly time frame is going to continue to be bullish. So overall, I'm only looking to take buys or bullish entries on this particular pair, all in alignment with the highest time frame, which is the monthly. And once I've identified where we're going on the monthly, I then of course just bump down one level to the next level, which is the weekly. Now, what I would do is first on that monthly is go ahead and box out that range, which is going to be the peak high to the peak low. So now this is the range box that price is currently in and has been since 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here. So now I would definitely come down in one level to the weekly. And now I know I'm in a consolidation box and I'm only looking to take positions long in alignment with the monthly time frame here. So knowing that, of course, each time I identify my levels and zones, I bump down to a lower time frame. So now on this daily, I'm inside that range box looking for buys. Now looking at this particular trend, I can see how from the high of the range box that we've drawn, we were in a downtrend. That downtrend is identified by, one second, this high, this initial high or this peak high over here at the top of the range, a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now notice how these lows are in the same spot. That would be considered a triple bottom, which means this level is a solid level of support. Notice how once we hit this level, the trend changes. Now we have a low, high, higher low, high, higher low, high, higher low. These lows are now level with here. So we got one level, two level, three level, reset. In alignment with what we have already analyzed on the monthly. We're still looking for bullish situations. So with that being said, back here in the daily, looking at that bullish situation, we know now this was an up cycle, 3 levels to the reset, which brought us here. And now we can expect to see another uptrend begin. And with that being said, here's the low, here's the high. We'll get a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and it'll likely begin to move in that type of channel. All the way until we get back to the top of the range box up here. So using the monthly to the daily gives us the the overall long-term direction. As we get closer into current real-time price, such as this 4 hour and the 1 hour, we use our intraday rules. Intraday rules pretty much whenever, put it like this, every candle that's created on every single time frame will likely retest the previous candle's highs and lows on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is, say for an example here on the monthly, let's look at these last two candles created on this monthly candle, right in here. This candle, of course, it was an aggressive bullish candle. So as you see, that the close of that candle played as support. So what I mean by every candle retests the high and low before a potential breakout, each candle is essentially a range. So as each candle is created, it creates an individual range in the market. So let me show you exactly what I mean by that. For example, I'm gonna use this 1 monthly candle right here. That's just 1 monthly candle. So if we go into a lower time frame, such as the 4 hour, here is that monthly candle that we just boxed out here. This monthly candle right here, I'll change the color so it stands out and we can actually really see it. That monthly candle, high to low, is right here. So notice how this current month broke out of the previous month's range. This is another confirmation for our bullish trend heading up to this box here, to the top of the range. And notice how that top of the range lines up with previous pattern structure here. Every high and every low is typically a target once price moves away from it as a retest. Every level is always going to be, once it's created, price will then slow down, come back a little bit, and always retest that level to make sure it's either going to hold as support or resist or resistance. In a range, as you see, this low level has been tested 1, 2 times. The high level has been tested 1, 2 times as well. Now, as price moves, of course, we're coming up here to test that again. And essentially that will be the move that breaks us out of the overall range here. That makes sense?
Yes, sir. And then so with this chart, all right, so based on what we're looking at right now, if it it already made the 1, 2 lows, so is it safe to assume it's gonna make a third low and then go back up, or do it not always? Do they not always do? Is it not in 3 cycles every time? Just when it's like, but when you see the long trend, you know like it's going long.
When it comes to retesting a level of support or resistance, you'll typically only get 2 tests.
Okay.
If you see a third test coming, likely they're gonna break that level.
Okay.
So with that being said, you see we got 2 here, 2 here, 2 at the high of the range and 2 at the low of the range. As price has now moved away from the low of the range, we know we're headed up here for our third strike attempt.
Right.
And that third strike attempt is likely going to be the one that breaks it
because
out
if
of the range.
if it was going third level low, then that means it's a reversal coming basically.
Exactly.
Right, because then that it would have been 2. Because I get it, because it's already going to be the 3 levels tested going long.
Exactly.
Okay. I get
If the overall higher time frames were showing us a downward move, then of course we would expect for the price to actually break through downwards.
Right.
But since we're actually seeing an upward trend, we can expect price to make that third push and break upwards. Long. Exactly.
Right. Makes sense.
Exactly. And on an intraday, on a daily basis, when you're looking for daily trades, you pretty much want to, like Steve Morrow would tell you, hitting the high and low of the day and things of that nature. That the high and lows of every day are the previous day are indicated by this blue tracer, this blue dotted line. So, for example, yesterday's high and low is this range here. Keep in mind, like I was saying, every candle creates a range from its high to low. On an intraday, on a daily trading basis, you can literally trade based on the daily range. So what I'm saying by that is, if this is the daily range of yesterday from low to high, and what we're looking at now in these candles is current price, and keeping in mind the concept of price retesting each previous candle's high and low, we see, looking at the chart now, price has now retested yesterday's low. Here. So we see price testing yesterday's low, also knowing that the higher time frames are going bullish.
Hey, I can't hear you. Hello. Yeah, I can't hear you. I think you got the other person left. I mean, the other account. I can only in the host account muted.
My bad. I was talking through my phone and it just died on me. So.
No, it's all good. Yeah,
Can you hear me now though?
Yeah. I couldn't hear since he was talking about
So with that being said, you see the Asian, if you come in on a daily basis and just box out the first 8 hours, you can then use that range to kind of guide you throughout the day. Notice how after this Asian range, the first 8 hours, when London came in, as you see, London just retested the high of the Asian range and then fell. On today's basis, although the Asian range was huge, as you see, price came down here and retested the low of Asian range. So you can literally box out the first 8 hours of the day and literally confidently trade off of those points once it's retested. The best entry is going to come when the price is retested to the previous day's low or high, depending on if you're buying or selling, such as what we got here today. That retest of the Asian range came under yesterday's low. So that's a key, ideal, significant confirmation for a buy situation, which is clutch. And that's just a simple intraday trading strategy, simply off the Asian range and the previous day's high and low. You're probably going through Steve Morrow's training. You'll probably hear him talk about the previous day's high and low and that blue tracer all day long.
But I think that's might be the only thing that's I'm trying to figure out is how do you determine what was the previous day high and low?
Okay. If you don't have, for example, say, let me go in here. If you don't have any indicators on your chart that actually point it out, what you can do is go to your hour or 30-minute chart and hit Control Y, and that separates the day. Just Control Y puts those separators on there. And what you can do is just mark the high and low of each one of those zones. And that's the high and low of that particular day that you're looking at. So for example, right here would be the high. Right here would be the low of yesterday. So if you didn't want to draw complete horizontal lines, you could literally box it out from the top of that zone to the bottom of that zone, or you can take a trend line and just draw it sideways like this. And what I do is I go in here, I right click, go to trend properties, and I just copy the first value and I'll paste it in the second value, make sure I got a straight line. And then it'll look like that. So if you use Control Y, that separates the 24 hours. Now the 24 hours is separated on the 1 hour below. If you go to the 4-hour chart, these separate the week. All the horizontal lines separate the week. If you go to the daily, they separate the month. If you go to the weekly and above, they separate the year.
Okay.
So monthly and weekly separate the year. Daily separates the month. 4 hours separates the week. And the 1 hour and below separate the day. So if you don't have any indicators on your chart, you can use that for your guidance. Now my template is here, and it will be available to everybody by the end of next week when we get back from our LA meetup, Los Angeles meetup. This is the template I use right here. It's color coded down here on the RSI, which measures trend strength and trend direction. So whenever this RSI down here is above this 50 mark and green, I know I'm looking for buys. If it's below in white, I know well, not necessarily just looking for buys. I'm looking for, if it's up above here in green, I'm looking for higher lows to buy, of course, in an uptrend. If it's down white, I'm looking for lower highs to sell into a downtrend. So if it's above green, I'm looking for entries here on higher lows when it's green. When it's white, I'm looking for entries at, shit, do that wrong, hold on. I'm looking for entries at lower highs. So what we're looking at right here, although we're in an up, we are long-term up, although we turned white right in here. We have a high, lower low, lower low, lower low. So looking at this, we're in this channel, but we know we're in a long-term uptrend. So by this low being lower than this low, this is likely the last low, and now will proceed to push here and create a higher high than this one. And that will change the trend. Then the trend will begin to look like this, with this being the low, a high, lower high, or a higher low, higher high, higher low. And it'll look like this. Because we know that we're looking for long-term uptrends, and with this short-term downtrend, with this low being the new low, we can obviously assume that now this downtrend is complete. Of course, a proper confirmation for this downtrend being complete would be a break of this high, creating a new high here. But because we already know the higher time frames are already pushing up, we can go ahead and assume this to be the lowest low. And now we can assume that we'll begin to get higher lows on the way up. And that's because we have confidently already checked the higher time frame. So the biggest thing is always confirming the higher time frame before you look to take an entry to make sure you're trading in line with that higher time frame. So here's the 5 minute. Of course, we're still looking for a bullish or a buys in an uptrend. So our next position here in sync with the uptrend would be at a higher low. So just to map that out, what we got is we got the low here. We got a high here. Now we would anticipate a higher low, and then we would anticipate a higher high. And that would look like this. So I'll leave this up while we move forward and watch how this particular pattern plays out and this channel plays out almost perfectly to the T.
Right. Yeah. And then what time frame is this on?
This is the 5 minute.
Okay.
So when it comes to intraday trading, your daily trades and your daily setups are gonna, once you've identified the higher time frame directional trend, and you get down to the 1 hour, 30, 15 minute, and 5, those are gonna be your intraday time frames. Those are the time frames you want to anticipate your daily trades on. When it comes to long-term swing trades, you want to take a look at those on the higher time frames, such as the monthly, daily, and weekly.
Oh, so that's why. Okay, so last night you was like, it was a daily buy, and then you was like, the swing is coming in for the sale on the gold. Okay. Because long-term trend was down, but daily it was up. So
exactly. So
okay.
let me go look at gold. Going over here looking at gold. Basically, what we did was we got in the swing here. We got in the swing trade here for the sell. Then what we got yesterday was I bought here, because I knew we needed now to form a lower high, which was created. It wasn't a major move, but it was a little small move that took us here to the lower high. Now we formed a lower low. Next move will be a lower high. Next move will be then a lower low. And then you can see how the trend is formed. So once you confidently have analyzed the market and everything and know which direction it's going, you can then, in order for the market to move, it has to trend.
Right.
So once you find an ideal target or everything, all you have are directional bias. All you have to do is find and catch the trend in that direction.
Right.
And it's simply as waiting for patience and simply and knowing what to look for.
So then what it looked like again on the monthly, like that's the one, that's how you was able to tell that it's in a downtrend, right?
Exactly. Here's the monthly here. We're gonna pull it up. So here's the monthly here. The monthly candle's heading down. Overall, on the monthly time frame here off the gold, we got a double top here at the top. So ultimately, gold should be heading down in here to retest this consolidation level down here at 1266, right in that area. So as you can see, overall, gold should be heading down for quite some time over the next couple months. Gold should be in a pretty strong downtrend. Actually, it's going to be quite strong. Let's go back over here and check New Zealand. Okay, here's New Zealand CAD. Let's watch how it plays out on this particular markup that we did. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee real quick.
All right. I'm still on. Hey, where's that USB piece that was on the next to the computer? Gregory, you moved that little piece off that was next to the computer?
No. And why would I be next
All right, I'm back. I'm still here. I thought wifey had made some coffee, but I had to make a whole nother damn pot. I'm still here with you. Just give me one more second.
All right.
I want to play Facebook. But you want to put in a big code? Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm back. My bad. I had to take a phone call. Can you see that chat that I'm typing in? That I typed in?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
All right, I gotta take this call, but you see that chat on? You see the that course on there that I mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
If you want to today, if you have time, go through that, and if you have time tomorrow, let's link up at the same time.
Tomorrow.
Would that work for you?
Tomorrow, can we do closer to? Because I work tomorrow at 11. Can we do closer to like 9?
Okay, yeah, we can run it at 9.
Okay.
So today, go through that course, and as you go through it, jot down your questions.
Okay.
And then we'll connect tomorrow morning at 9 and finish things up, and I'll get most of the other questions answered. And if you need help opening up a live account, we can get that set up tomorrow as well, and we'll go over that copier.
Okay.
And how to set your account up on that.
All right.
I also recorded this, so in about an hour or so, once it's downloaded, I'll be able to send it directly to you so you can rewatch it or whatnot.
Perfect.
Good deal.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, bro.
All right, bro. No doubt. Be safe, and we'll touch base tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
All right.
Okay, bet.
Be safe.
Yep, you too.